And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Smokin' Tobacco Show, take 3 tonight. We've had some issues,
No.
but we're here again. So hopefully we're good to go this time. I am Matt Tabacco from SmokingTobacco.com, and I am joined once again by my friend, Mr. Jonathan M. Carney from the Florida Dominicana. And John is with me tonight for once in person.
So we had a tumultuous start to the show tonight. We're going very smooth.
That's a big word.
I can tell that we're going very smooth because it's very smooth on our screen here.
Yes.
Fortunately, I'm an expert at a lot of things. I'm a know-it-all at a lot of things as well, but I'm an expert at really terrible execution of live broadcasts.
Yep.
And I'm good at fixing them now. So we're in a good shape here. It's moving well. Everything's smooth. I'd like to cheers first. Thank you for the tobacco family having me here.
Is this my glass?
I don't know.
That's your glass.
It is, but you haven't been drinking this for the last couple hours.
This is my glass.
So your mother said that maybe I had too much wine. I'm thinking maybe I hadn't had enough prepared for what was going to happen tonight prior to this. But we're going to cheers, and we're going to have a drink here first to get it started. So cheers to that.
Cheers.
We're here live at the Tabacco Estate. I won't give the town or place, but we are in the state of Massachusetts. My tax rate went up 10% when I walked in here into the state. I drove in. But yeah, we're live. So for those of you that were on board before, thank you for sticking around. And yeah, we're here. And Tabacco Estate, all sorts of exciting things. We'll have some live stuff coming on all weekend coming out. We did some stuff on Hacking Gourmet earlier. We got a big soap review.
Share to your Facebook.
I'm supposed to share on my Facebook page. I already shared 3 times.
All right, good.
So it should be on there. If not, we will. But yeah, hey, thank you for having me here. It's great to be in person. And we're smoking some good cigars. If you listened to our second take, it was a little choppy. But we're smoking Andalusian Bolts.
We are.
And this is an LFD product. Yes, I am the vice president of sales for LFD. That is my actual job, despite some of the other things I do. And I wanted to make it known that there are no special perks that really Matt gets from me being involved in the show. He actually purchased this box of cigars in front of me today at full price, and then gave me one of them to smoke on a show that I participated with him. So yeah, thank you. This will be a really nice cigar. I enjoy it anyway, but I'll enjoy it more that somebody else bought it.
Well, the way I looked at it was if I'm gonna be with the vice president of Florida Dominicana, we're gonna smoke good La Florida Dominicana.
And if he's not going to bring you bowls, you might as well buy some, right?
I might as well get them myself.
Yeah, so we're here. No headsets for the first time, which is nice. So yeah, here we are. We're at it. We're going at it now.
So one of the things that I wanted to talk about, number one, was with the Andalusian Bulls. Now, we've talked about this before, and with the pandemic and everything going on, and obviously John, with his position, will add to this, but factories and manufacturers are just not operating at the same place that they were pre-pandemic. So, for example, La Florida Dominicana for a while, their box factory was closed. So these Andalusian Bulls actually came in a bundle versus the standard box that you would normally purchase them in. And what I thought was interesting about that is even though they were bundled, they were cellophaned individually, it was weird. I was taking an Andalusian Bull out of a cellophane, and I was like, it just felt odd to me.
So what's kind of funny? There's been throughout the pandemic, there's been several funny things on the cigar side that have happened, and one of them for me was, for a period of time, there's when we've been bundling cigars as the box factory's been closed, the cigars that have been coming loose have been coming in cellophane. There's a lot of products that people are familiar with our brand that we make that are non-cellophane, and that creates damages because people touch them, things can happen, whatever. So there's been a lot of these products that people had asked before, and they'd be like, "Oh, these get damaged. Can they come in cellophane? This and that." And it was like the reverse. As soon as they came in cellophane, they were like, "Well, this used to not come cellophane. Now it's coming this way." Blah, blah, blah. I said, you've asked me 100 times over the last 5 years for cellophane on this, and now that I'm putting it in, it's an issue. So I get both sides of it, but it's been kind of funny, and there's been some benefits to having things celloed. The Andalusian Bull, obviously, we prefer to not be, and I said the majority of that product, the box factory is open. But even when you picked this up today, you walked out of the humidor with a box of Ratzillas.
Yes.
And you had a box or a bundle of these on top.
Yeah.
And I was like, in my head, I was like, that's not an Andalusian Bull box. This is the weirdest looking Andalusian Bull box I've ever seen. Because it's weird for me to see them in bundles too.
Yeah.
But most of the stuff's coming in boxes now, and is back to that. and then they'll be uncellophaned again, and then people ask for them to be cellophaned. But that has been a side effect of this situation. The cellophane products have significantly scaled back on some of the damages we have, and some more of the damage. More damage-friendly cigars, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's even a term, damage-friendly.
So there's one thing that, I mean, you have to realize is normally, I'm here and John's up in the middle of nowhere, almost in Canada, and we do this all remotely. But now he's here with me, so like a lot of the stuff that there's just it's an interesting experience, and I've actually gotten to see what he's done all day because I've been with him all day versus like he chimes in an hour before the show or whatever, and I just kind of have to figure it out. So I can tell you I've watched how much wine he has drank already all today. So I know he's lit right now. Not completely. I mean, he's not ready to pass out. But
I mean, I thought you were going to say how much I was on the phone and stuff and how busy I was. I actually completed most of my work today before I got down here because I had a 5-hour drive.
Yeah.
But yes, for those watching, the scar did fall out of my mouth. The weirdest thing about being here together is I'm not sure, do I look at you or do I look at the screen? Because I'm used to looking at you through here, and now I'm looking at myself. And then when I'm talking to you, do I look at you like this, or do I sit and look at other people? So I'm not. It's uncomfortable, but we'll have this bowl, and this will be good. And we got a little bit more wine left, and but yeah, no, we had a little bit of wine today. We got a big weekend ahead of us. The Cigar Association of New Hampshire,
yes,
golf outing is going on tomorrow. It's a big fundraiser for that association. So that'll be fun. We're co-hosting a par 3 hole, Smokin Tabacco and LFD cigars.
We are.
So we got some fun contests going on there. So that'll be a good day. We got a grill. We got a little portable grill. We're going to bring those. So we got fillets. We had a great meal tonight.
Great meal.
Yeah.
We had a nice selection of different steaks. We had a nice tomahawk ribeye. We had some elk. We had a 72-day. What was the age?
We had a 70-day dry age prime New York strip.
Yep.
We had a 5-pound picanha roast, which was awesome.
Fantastic.
So we had about 8 pounds of beef.
Yeah.
And we had probably 20 pounds of potato salad. The German Italian thing here.
Yeah.
Cook German in quantities of Italian is what I've found. But no, yeah, we're in a good spot now. Life's good. The show's going. It's very smooth. I guess we look at each other when we speak to each other.
Yeah, I repositioned my chair, and
I had my leg kind of a little bit uncomfortably in your position.
I'm gonna reposition the camera a little bit.
Yeah, I don't want to be inappropriate. Honestly, these virtual shows and things, I've never done it this close.
We've never had to do it.
No, I've never in the in-person shows. I'm usually on like a casting couch or something. So I don't know. I mean, this is very intimate.
Or like if you're on the Cigar Authority, which you will be tomorrow, Saturday. For those of you watching, John will make his triumphant return to the Cigar Authority to defend his honor of being called a know-it-all. You're up on the beautiful stage, and I'm on that stage myself on the Ashholes podcast. So, and that's really a special kind of area for a show. Most shows are not like that.
Well, it's very formal.
Yeah,
it's formal. So like I don't say this is the tobacco stage is not informal by any means. This is one of the more formal places I've been in my life.
This is a black tie.
And, I obviously came incredibly underdressed. One of the biggest issues I had today, apparently everyone was offended by my American flag Crocs. First of all, I don't care. Second of all, don't buy a pair. And if you don't love America, that's your problem. But yeah, so it was an exciting day. Had a good meal this evening. We went live for a short time on Hacking Gourmet. It was great stuff. It was just really fun to sit and talk about beef and the different meats we cooked, and that was fun. And we're drinking wine now, hanging out. We got a great soap lined up for tonight. Do we have anything else to talk about? Or is this the end of the show?
Well, no, we have some things I want to get into on the show tonight. Just trying to get through the initial hiccups that we had there, trying to get rolling for whatever reason. We never really have any issues, but now here we are. So we're running and we're rolling, and yeah, I wanted to talk about the Andalusian Bowl because it's a special cigar. I think I might have done this in the very early days of the show once before, but now that we're together, I wanted to pull out all the stops. So I have the Andalusian Bowl ashtray, the bowls. I'm with you, and so it's a very LFD. I have my Smoke LFD shirt on now. Actually, I don't know, John, if you want to talk about this, but so this ashtray is actually available now on lfdshop.com, as well as this shirt, and there's an Andalusian Bowl shirt. There's a couple other LFD shirts that are available now online.
we just launched the LFD shop. That's all for apparel
Yep.
and accessories. Also accessories are available through some retailers that have participated in that. The reason we launched the online shop is, in reality, in the industry, this is just a fact.
Yeah.
Our retail business don't sell a lot of. And by the way, this is not a negative thing for retailers, but I think it's kind of a missed spot for some retailers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of we were one of the last people to do an online swag store with merchandise and things like that. The reason those exist is because people they want it. Like,
Yeah.
consumers want it, and retailers aren't really in the apparel and swag business. When you go to a retail, and part of this is from the consumer too, and it's everybody's fault, but it's not a problem. But when you go to a retailer and you buy cigars, it's like, oh, when are you going to give me when I buy this box? Like, you're going to give me an ashtray, a shirt, and a hat. So that became commonplace, and it wasn't maybe necessarily what you wanted, but you but you got it. Now there's stuff out there where maybe you want an LFD ashtray, maybe you want a Padron ashtray, and those are available on swag stores. And I think that's an area where some retailers get very much behind it, but some don't. And we get a lot of demand for it. We get a lot of questions, and so that's why we launched the LFD shop. It's never going to be cigars.
Right.
That's not what we're doing. But for shirts, hats, ashtrays, we have lighters that are going on there soon, and other things we're going to be adding artwork and different stuff like that. It's just an area where people can have a one-stop shop to get some sort of merchandise that they want, some high-quality, nice cigar accessories. So that's really the thing behind the LFD shop. But these ashtrays specifically are available at many retailers as well. But as of right now, the Smoke LFD shirts, the Lennox shirts, the Andalusian Bull shirts are all available at lfdshop.com.
So one thing I do want to do is I just want to mention really quickly a little non-LFD. We're going to talk about another brand, McAuliffe Cigars. We, Nicole and myself, had the pleasure of being on Off the Record last night with Andy and Sam from McAuliffe Cigars. For those of you guys who don't know, McAuliffe Cigars is going to be a new partner with Smokin Tobacco, and so we're really excited about that partnership. And they're going to be sponsoring a segment on the show and a whole other thing. So it's going to be a great time. And last night's show was amazing. And again, thank you to those guys for having us on. It was a great time. We had so much fun. And that's the thing. We do our show, and I do the Ashholes podcast too. As a host. And but to go on other people's shows too is always fun. I've been on the Stickman Chronicles, Off the Record, Cigar Hacks. I've been on the Cigar Authority, such as yourself. I think you hold the record for the Cigar Authority guest.
I think I'm number 2 now.
Is Steve Saka?
I think Saka might pass.
Steve Saka might.
I went really strong in like 2016 and 17.
You just go on there like
very strong. I was there all the time. I've probably been on there at least 30 times. I was number 1 at a period of time, and then I think Saka passed me, especially during coronavirus and stuff.
Yeah,
I think he might have passed me, but I'm close behind him, and I'm coming at him. I mean,
yeah.
So, Steve, I'm going to see you tomorrow. I know you're not watching this, but I'm coming at you tomorrow with the CNH, and I'm going to take one more day away from you on your record at the Cigar Authority, and I'm coming at you.
Well, you've heard it here first, Steve. Don't look at me. I had nothing to do with this, but Jon Carney is calling you out here, so maybe get with Garofalo and figure out who's got the most appearances. But
again,
that has nothing to do with me.
No, Steve's a good guy and a good friend. I busted his balls quite hard publicly a little over a year ago, and he was great gamesmanship with that, and I got a lot of respect for him. And I had a lot of fun with that, and that was cool. So no, I'm looking forward to. If I'm going to be second to someone, I guess I might as well be second to him for now. I mean, then until I'm first.
So another cigar that an LFD cigar that me and you are going to share together this weekend at some point is going to be the Ligero A. Now, there's some people out there who maybe you do, maybe you don't know about the Ligero A. It is a limited production. I don't believe those ones are in production anymore. I think those are all out. It
was a limited edition cigar that we released 2 years ago. It was exclusive for just IPCPR attendees, which is now the PCA.
Yes.
Yep. So a really special cigar. Full-bodied, really traditional, big shape. It was the tradition. Essentially, it's a long Churchill. It's like a 9-inch Churchill.
I believe it's 9.5.
Yeah, 9.5 by 48.
Yeah.
So it's 48 traditional Churchill ring gauge. So yeah, the A. Yeah, look forward to that. I haven't smoked one in a while, and I know you picked up a box, so I'm looking forward to trying that too.
Yeah, I mean, I figured that's another cigar. We gotta share together for a special occasion. And
so before we started this show, it was in question here at the Tabacco Estate, the authority here. It said maybe I'd had enough wine, or maybe I had. By the way the show started, it appears as if I hadn't had enough to prepare for what we were for. So I'm going to pour myself another glass of wine here. We're drinking the George de la Tour Private Reserve Cabernet Sauvignon, 2016 from BV. Really good wine. I've had like probably at least 2/3 of this. That's your first glass of it, so you're only
This is
gonna have
very
one.
good. Honestly, I think out of all the wine we've drank today, this is probably my favorite. This is very
Yeah.
smooth.
Yeah, it's really
Has a
good.
nice subtle finish to it. I don't normally drink a lot of wine on the show. I usually, if I drink, it's more of a bourbon. I'm heavily into bourbons and whiskeys, but I do really enjoy wine as well. It's not something I really advertise, but I do.
I tend to be a positive influence on wine consumption. So it's funny. It was so I've been with LFD now. I'm in my 10th year. I've been there about 9 years. And when I started, we all used to drink rum. When
Yep.
we go to like sales meetings, trade shows, and stuff, we were drinking bottles of rum.
Yeah.
And so 8 years ago, when I got promoted, I started traveling on the road. I personally got into more wine. So we go to our sales meeting. First year, we're still doing rum, whatever, having a good time. So year two, I've been traveling around. I had the same sales team. My sales team's been very consistent the last few years. Not last few years, last 9 years. Everyone that's with me currently, the 4 people that we still currently have, which will be expanding again, they've all been with me for a minimum of 3 years. My longest has been with me for 8.5. So we all get down to the Dominican Republic, and we're meeting Lito and Tony for dinner, and they're a little behind. They're on Dominican time.
Yeah.
And so we show up, and there's like, we show up, we sit down. The guy's like, "What do you want to do?" So we've been on the road taking people out to dinner, doing steakhouses and whatnot, doing wine. That's something I'm passionate about. So people started to see my passions and wanted to participate in it. And we we get to the DR, and there's like Tony and Lito show up. There's like 4 or 5 bottles of wine on the table, and Lito's like, where's the rum or whatever? Like, oh no, we started on wine or whatever. And he's like, oh, what are we doing for dinner? And like the table's got like, we ordered like 6 tomahawk ribeyes, and we always did tomahawks and stuff, but it was different things. But it was like the only thing we ate was steak and wine for 4 straight days. And like Lito and Tony, like they say to me, they go, we used to do rum. We used to have rum and cokes. We used Cuba Libres. He's like, now everybody's drinking high-end wine and steak. Right. They're like, what happened? Right. I'm like, it's kind of like what everybody wants to do on the road, so that's what we're doing. So it's been funny to watch the salespeople from my company transition to wine, because they're all into bourbons and different things too. But like when we're together, we drink wine. So it tends to be the effect that I have, I guess, on the people that I'm around, that we end up drinking wine together. So it's fun, and it's always good wine, and we always enjoy it. You don't have to break the bank to do it. The bottle we had tonight's a really nice wine to celebrate the evening. But yeah, so it doesn't shock me that you're having wine, and it won't shock me if I force more of it down your throat here in the next hour or so.
Well, we still have a long way to go, and there's a lot more wine to drink. So there's definitely that. One of the things I did want to touch on, since you mentioned IPCPR/PCA as it's now known. A little bit of news came out this week, and I'm going to announce it, and then I'm going to get, as a manufacturer, I'm going to get your opinion. So it was announced this week that the TPE, or the Tobacco Plus Expo, has been pushed from its normal time in January out into May, which at that point it puts it 2 months before the PCA trade show in July, and it also puts it roughly 2 months after the TAA as well. So
yeah, at the most,
it kind of sandwiches itself in between.
It's maybe
those
a month
shows.
and a half. Yeah.
So let's back up a little bit. So obviously everything with the pandemic is going on. People are changing things around, and January is still kind of soon. So
I was just waving to the producer. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Obviously January is kind of soon.
When I look at you, I'm staring. Like I can't. It's like she's behind.
I'm on a flow here, and she's ruining it.
Yeah, well, she's not doing anything. She's
you.
She's just sitting there. I'm the problem. I'm like, it's like I'm looking at you, and then there's like this stuff going on my mind. Like, what's going on back there? So anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
See, this is why people don't like having you on their show, because you act like this.
I know.
This is why the Cigar Authority gave you such a bad reputation.
I know. So yeah, TPE, PCA,
yeah.
So there's some unique stuff with that for sure.
No, so you move that trade show out closer into the middle of all the other trade shows, and then you go a little bit further. Assuming that all the other shows happen as planned. Now I don't know if La Folia Dominicana does this, but you have Intertabac in Germany in September.
Yeah.
What happens when you take one show and you push it ahead? Do other shows then feel the need to move themselves around?
I don't know. There's definitely an influence on these shows together, but here's the thing. TA is a small group of retailers. It's 80. Mm-hmm. It's 80 retailers. PCA, IPCPR. PCA has had 700 plus retailers
Right.
That visit, so that it's 100 times more,
Yeah.
or 10 times more, whatever that 10 times. And then you have Intertabac, which is it's international, it's Europe. There's different regulations. It's mostly Intertabac is mostly you meeting with distributors that distribute your products for you in these European countries or
Mhm.
around the world. There's some crossover for sure, but the biggest competition per se for PCA is TPE.
Yeah.
It's a privately owned company. It's a for-profit event, so they can do some things a little bit differently.
Right.
It's logical for them, in my opinion, to move it forward. Who knows? We're going to be in January. As I said, I have opinions of when this is. The current state we're in is slowly slowing.
Yeah.
It's not done.
No.
I mean, there's still events getting canceled, big things and stuff, and whether it's rightfully so or not, it's a different situation. That's all opinions, but factually, these things are getting postponed.
Yeah.
So that event's in January, traditionally, end of January, right before the Super Bowl, right before February, last week of January. So they would have to be booking and finalizing things right now for
Yeah.
it's 4 months away, 4.5 months away. So they'd have to be planning for that now. They've been planning well before that, but they would have to be planning, like financially planning, like deposits and whatever they have involved in it, contracts. So in my opinion, it's the right decision to push it back. And I don't think they made that decision based off of TAA, based off of IPCPR, PCA, or based off Intertabac or anything. I think that's a for-profit company.
Right.
They made that decision based off of what was best for the profitability of that event. And if anybody tells you anything different, that's a dirty lie.
Right.
It was just a fact of that had to get moved back because January may be uncertain. May will be much more certain than January. And then once you pushed it back to May, guess what that does? That gives you an extra 3 or 4 months. If things aren't somewhat normal in May, then you can push it back to another date. You can keep moving it back. So that way you're not committed to anything. You're not fully committed. You're not financially fully committed. So I think that's a logical move, and I really doubt they made any thought into what PCA was doing or what TAA was doing. I really don't think it may have come up and said, "Oh, what about this?" And then be like, no, like why would I be concerned about that? We're running our own thing,
Right.
So yeah, is it something? I think on a cigar media side, I think we spent more time right now talking about it than they spent deciding.
Well, I
switching
think the other part of it too is how in terms of the retailers and the manufacturers who have to travel to all these shows, inside of a much condensed shorter window now. That's a lot of travel in such a short amount of time.
But these manufacturers travel regularly, and in regards to TPE, it's not all hands on deck.
Right.
It's a smaller show in terms of premium cigars. It's certainly growing. I've not been there, but I'm very familiar with it. We haven't participated in years past. We may in the future. Who knows?
Yeah.
When that makes it. When that show is something that we view is very beneficial to our business, we'll participate in it if that's the case. And if it's not, then we won't. So we're really, for us, what we're looking at is where are the majority of my retailers that buy from me going to show up. Right now it's still PCA. TAA is a separate, smaller organization, a little bit different. But these manufacturers, we're traveling anyway. We're not traveling now because of COVID. We're traveling significantly less than we were. I mean, last year I was at 120 flights at this time of the year, and right now I've flown 25 times.
Yeah.
And some people say, "Oh, 25 flights, that's a lot." Yeah, it is still a lot, but
it's true. Yeah.
I'm usually 100 more.
Yeah.
So we're traveling anyway, so it's not a big deal. If you're traveling, the expense that goes towards it there. TPE is a less expensive show than PCA just because of the way that it's set up.
Right.
The booths aren't as massive. It's shared space. So as I said, I don't think TPE made this decision based off of what TAA was doing and IPCPR or PCA was doing. They made it based off of what was the best opportunity for them to guarantee success and profitability in their show. So I think May made the most sense. And by the way, if things don't change, which I feel they are, but if they don't change in 2 months, when they get to like November or December, if May doesn't look good, we'll move it back to June, July, August. This just gives them a chance to push it back and not cancel the show.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like right now, they're not canceling it. And I don't think they're going to have to. So that was a logical step. But yeah, final point. on that. There was no thought made into what PCA or TA was doing from
I was gonna say,
TPE. They made the decision.
have you taken a breath yet? I mean,
I have
on that rant.
not
I can see you running out of wind now.
No, I got all the wind in the world.
Yeah,
I got as much wind as that little puppy over there going at it.
yeah. I think you got a lot of wind. You got a lot of wine going tonight as he goes in for more. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, getting to spend the time with Jon in person. I'm really interested to see what happens after the show. Like when we wrap up the show, we end this. You guys go to bed. You guys go home. You guys do your own thing. I still have to be here, and I have to see what happens. Normally, I don't. I sign off, and he's at his house, and he does whatever it is he does.
I assure you that anyone that's watching that knows me that the only thing that's probably going to happen is this is a dip in the pool. And
he's been eyeing that swimming pool over there since he got here. So,
but see, for me, I think in this situation, the more challenging situation is PCA.
Mm-hmm.
So how does PCA react now? TPE didn't think about them. It was a thought, but it wasn't. It had nothing to do with their decision. They were going to move it wherever they had to do one or the other. So now PCA has to look at you're trying to compete against us with our customers and clients that we're bringing to the show. TPE obviously has a a vested interest in increasing the premium cigar presence in terms of retailers and manufacturers. I mean, I talk to them regularly. Like, there's lots of unique discussions. So the challenge here is now that the show moves, people are like, oh, how does this affect that? And how does this affect PCA's decision? Now, in my opinion, TAA doesn't really affect it. TAA is going to go off whether it goes off. It's such a small group. And then PCA's got a big issue because it's an expensive show. It needs a large amount of attendees.
Yep.
We hear conversation about attendance going down, whether it's true, false, or whatever it is. It's a real thing, a real discussion. So the real unique thing here is, what does PCA do? Because this is now, they didn't think about them and they moved the show. Now PCA has to be like, they moved the show and we have to think about it.
Yeah.
So who knows what they do? If I were them, we're also in challenging times. If COVID wasn't going on, you know what I'd do? I'd move my show to friggin' May. If I was PCA and there was no COVID going on and I knew everything was back to normal, and then one of the events that competes with me,
right,
moved their show so close to mine, I'd be like, I'm going to put my show. I'll do my show like the week before.
You'd pull that ballsy move, yeah.
Oh yeah, and because here's the thing, TPE is trying to get the quality client, which is the retailer and manufacturer, the quality clients from PCA.
Right.
By the way, TPE would love if PCA was successful and they were successful. TPE just wants to be successful. PCA wants to be successful as well, but TPE is just trying to gather. They already have a successful show before this larger influx of premium cigar stuff. And it's still not a huge buying show for premium cigars. It's a good one. It's increasing. It's growing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still not what PCA is. So yeah, if I was PCA, I wouldn't do it now in this current setting. But if this was a setting where everything was normal, that we knew 6 months ago, I'd just move the show to May. You're going to move that show that close to mine. I'm just going to move it. I'm going to move mine even closer. Whether I move it the week before, maybe I'll just do it in June. Maybe I'll move it earlier in the year, just to kind of position it. So then, because the customer and client that TPE needs is at PCA for premium cigars. They don't need the other side. The convenience stores and stuff, they've got it. But the premium business they're looking to grow, they're just pulling retailers from PCA. So when TPE comes to me, and this is not negative, this is just a real observation. They're like, oh, hey, we're increasing our attendance here with premium retailers. I'm like, it's the same premium retailer I see on the road. It's the same premium retailer I see at PCA, and if I don't see them at PCA, it's the same premium retailer my sales rep sees 12 times a year.
Yeah. So
you're not bringing me a new customer. You're bringing me existing customer and pulling them from another place.
Right.
Now, if you pull enough of my customers away from another place, then I'm going to have to come find them there. So that's really what it is. So if I was PCA and all things were neutral right now, I'd move my show a little earlier and I'd go straight head-to-head with them, and I'd make my premium retailers make a commitment to come into my show, because they're not going to do both. Some will do both, but not all will.
So there's a couple of things I also wanted to get to on the show before we move on to some of the other segments that we have. And we have a couple of announcements that we need to make tonight. One of the announcements we've talked about before, Smokin Tobacco as a brand is coming up on its 1-year anniversary. That'll be next week. It's September 1st. September 1st, 2019 is when Smokin Tobacco really came to be. and that was a very important time for me personally, and I'm just very thankful for everything that I've been able to build and create here with it. So for that, now we have the Smokin Tabacco Show, and the Smokin Tabacco Show is running great and all that. We have a very special guest, and I told everyone that I was waiting until tonight to announce it, and so I think I'm ready to let the cat out of the bag. You know who it is.
Do we have the artwork for that to pop him up?
I don't think we have it show ready.
We do have it show ready because we got multiple computers here.
It will be out on social media following the show.
And I'm going to put it on here right now. I'm going to pull it up on the big screen. We're going to put it on the big screen, and we'll be in good shape here. We got multiple camera angles.
Well, anyway, while John's messing with that, so and I guess I'll have to wait to announce that. But another thing,
no, you announce it right now because we're ready to go.
We're
ready to go.
Are you sure about that?
Positive. Does it get any more sure than that?
Is that
the announcement you wanted?
It is.
Let's do it.
Is this? Oh, you're just gonna hold it up?
I'm gonna flip it around. People aren't gonna even know.
All right. So before you do it, I mean, this is not normally as high tech as we'd like to be, but so the major guest that we've been holding off on announcing is we have Nick Perdomo joining us from Perdomo Cigars. He will be joining us next week for our show. Don't miss it. It'll be at 8 p.m. same time, same place. And he will be with us. It's going to be a very special episode. I think you can pull that away now. I think they get the point. But thank you. Nick Perdomo will be with us. It's going to be a great show, a very special show for us personally, but it'll be special to have someone such as amazing as Nick. Not even just what he's accomplished cigar-wise, just as an entrepreneur in general. Is someone that I've had the luxury of meeting several times, and I'm really fortunate to have him come on the show. So really excited about that. But also, we have a giveaway that we're about to announce, and we're gonna post that online probably like this weekend, I would say. It's gonna be a very special giveaway in celebration of the 1-year anniversary. I don't have all the props and pieces and prizes in front of me, but I know what pretty much all of them are, and I'm going to list them all off. I'm going to tell you how you can play, but the official post won't go live until sometime this weekend. So one of the things that we're going to be giving away is a bottle of Eagle Rare bourbon for all the bourbon hunters out there. If that's something that that you really enjoy in your neck of the woods, that's hard to find. Especially right now, I know there's stuff that's a little extra hard to find. There's your chance to win. That's going to be in the prize pack. Also included in the prize pack will be a couple of things La Flor Dominicana related.
Really?
They will be. We are going to be putting in a Andalusian Bull ashtray, just like the one you see in front of us.
It won't have ashes in it.
No, it'll be brand new. It'll be clean. We're also going to be giving away a box of Andalusian Bulls, I believe. Was it a box? I think it was a box.
A whole box.
We'll do a whole box.
It's going to be in bundles and cellophane, too.
It won't be a box. It'll be a bundle.
Yeah, bundle and cellophane.
You'll have a full 10 Andalusian Bull cigars, the Andalusian Bull ashtray, bottle of Eagle Rare. There's going to be a couple of other cigars in there. I don't have the specifics on them, but there's going to be some Perdomo. There's going to be McAuliffe. There's going to be Platinum Nova. There's going to be Opus X. The Opus X that people go crazy for. There's going to be some Liga Privada in there. Some really good cigars that are really sought after, really popular stuff. That's all going to be in the bundle as well. That will be announced this weekend. We're going to put it online. It'll be on the website, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere you can find us at Smokin Tabacco. And basically, you're going to have to follow, you're going to have to like and subscribe, and all of the normal things. We want you to definitely subscribe to us on YouTube and watch all of our videos and all of our past episodes. That's a huge thing for us. And you're also going to follow McAuliffe Cigars, La Flor Dominicana, Platinum Nova. Go follow all of our friends, those great companies. Those are fantastic. So we really appreciate all of their help and their input and the partnerships that we have with them. So I want to include them in the love. Also, we have another item that was handmade for us, and it was and there'll be pictures of it. I don't have it in front of me, but it is a cigar rest / whiskey glass coaster that was made out of wood. It has the Smokin Tabacco logo on it, and that is courtesy of our friends at Regal Street Wood Shop. That's my friend Lee. He made that for us, and that's gonna be part of the giveaway as well. So look forward to that. Like I said, there's a lot of cool stuff in that giveaway, and some stuff might even get added. I don't know. This is getting exciting. It keeps growing by the day. There's a lot more.
Yeah,
stuff.
there was more stuff on there tonight. Like you were just rattling off cigars that I don't remember hearing about prior to this.
Yeah, so like there's a lot of stuff that we decided to throw in, as the week's been going on. I've been putting this together. So, and I still might add stuff. Who knows? But at least for right now, there's all those good things, and those are all good things. So if anything changes, it's just going to be more. So look forward to that, and make sure you follow all the guidelines for that giveaway. That's all we ask, and have fun with it. And good luck. And it's exciting. You win something, you get free stuff, especially you get cool stuff like that. Yeah. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it's nice to be a winner.
And like I said, a lot of that stuff's going to be a lot of stuff from our partners as well. And again, I just want to thank them so much for everything they've done for us, and being part of the journey here at Smokin Tobacco, and everything that I've really spent the time building, and everyone just watching at home. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So that's what's up with us. We've talked about TPE. We've talked about John and drinking too much wine. We've talked about the Andalusian Bull.
I haven't drank too much wine.
Oh, come on. You're drinking a little bit too much.
How? For what? How is I showing me drinking too much wine right now?
You're talking a little bit more than usual.
I got the last show, the last time I was on the Cigar Authority, I was told I talked too much. I was the guest. I'm a host on this show. Like, what do I have to be on a show to speak?
John, don't you see what's going on right now?
Do I need to be like the only person on the show where it's acceptable to speak?
John, don't you see what's going on right now?
I don't know what's going on.
I'm giving you a hard time. I'm preparing you.
Damari's fighting with people inside the chat box.
I'm preparing. You know what? Let me see.
Fights. And this is going.
What's going on in the chat room
I
here?
come down to Massachusetts. Damari gets his. Damari was complimenting me how big of a guest I was.
Nick Perdomo.
Yeah.
John, as much as I love you, I'm not gonna look. You know what?
You take me for granted, is what you do.
No,
you have me all the time now.
You know what? This is what happens. People like Mike Damari fucking come into the chat room and they start trouble when they don't need to. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But, at the end of the day, I appreciate everyone who comes on the show, and I appreciate all of the people that I work with and I've gotten to know, and the friendships and partnerships that I've made. So that's all that matters to me.
Yeah. So we got big prizes coming up. When are we going to announce that? No, prize winner.
The prize winner will be announced probably the end of next week.
End of next week. So it'll be announced prior to the actual show.
Well,
because we're with Nick next week, right?
So Nick will be on next Thursday.
Next Thursday, yeah.
You know what? Fuck it.
We'll announce it on the show.
We'll announce it on the show.
Yeah,
we'll announce it on the show. Yeah.
Are we giving away any Perdomos?
We are giving away Perdomos. We are.
Yeah.
We are. We're going to give away Perdomos. I thought I mentioned that. But maybe
you probably did.
I thought I did mention that. Yeah, Perdomo will be part of the pack too.
Drinking wine.
I know you're over there drinking. I see. I'm preparing you for the Cigar Authority on Saturday because you're gonna get this kind of heckling, whether it's during or definitely after.
Certainly after.
Certainly after.
Yeah, certainly after.
I mean, whether it's
during the show, I can hold my own during any in face-to-face moments. I'm good. It's the after. It's the after remarks where I can't back it up.
Yeah.
It's good. Everybody's an easy target when they're not in front of your face, right?
Well, on that show, there's a couple of characters on there who, we know and love, but they like to, I would say, jab at you a little bit more. And that would be, maybe Barry and Mr. Jonathan, I think, are the most fired up ones on the show.
Yeah, Barry's all, nobody ever gives me a hard time on the show. It's usually, I by the way, I used to be a crown jewel on that show.
Right.
I mean, I only became the redheaded stepchild with COVID because people asked me an opinion and I gave it.
And they didn't like it.
I was mistaken that I was the guest on the show and then I was going to give answers to the questions I was asked. So, winner gets the American Crocs. David, no, the winner already has the American Crocs.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's going to be a good thing. I'm looking forward to having Nick on the show. That'll be awesome. We had, when you set that up with Nick, we'd mentioned, that I was on, you had mentioned, I said, hey, make sure you mention Nick that I'm on the show, blah, blah, blah. If it's no big deal, I'll back away if he wants to be him. And he had mentioned that he wanted to have me there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It'll be fun to interview Nick and have him on the show. He's definitely got an incredible reputation. I have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
So it should be awesome. Celebrate 1 year of the Smokin Tobacco and lifestyle, right?
And honestly, that show might even run longer than our normal allotted time. someone like Nick with so much information that he has to share.
I mean, you imagine Nick and me on the same show.
This is what I'm saying.
Me gunning for things to talk about.
This is what I'm
he's
saying.
going to actually talk. It's going to be really tough for me.
This is probably going to be at least a 2-hour show. And we normally run about an hour and a half, but I think the overtime segment's definitely going to be at least an hour.
I might wash my hands 2 or 3 times during that show.
You might have to do 3 soap reviews.
Maybe. You never know. I might just do them on my own when Nick's talking.
Yeah, I mean...
No, I'm excited to have him on. The insight he has, and he built that company with his wife from nothing.
Yeah.
It was literally from the ground up, and he doesn't come from a tobacco family, and he's actually a vertically integrated company. So it's impressive what he's done, and I know you've been invited to go down there.
I have. Yep.
So that would be an awesome experience too. But yeah, it'd be fun to have him on there. I mean, a big deal, and he's making great cigars. I smoked the Firecracker today.
Oh yeah,
for the first time.
That's right.
It was
yeah.
nice. It was strong. I was impressed at how strong it was.
Yeah.
I didn't anticipate it being that strong. But yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, we're we're really excited about that, and we have some other guests that we got hopefully lined up to be coming on in the future. Also, at some point, La Flor Dominicana, like, where's Tony Lito? Like, Tony and Lito, we got to get them on the show.
Well,
we'll get them on the show.
We'll come on sometime. Maybe we'll come on sometime.
And they can see what it is you do on Thursday nights.
We'll have them on. No, I've talked to them about it. They're definitely interested, and we just want to make sure this lasts before I risk the reputation.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
No, they're interested in coming on. They, we've talked about it, and fortunately, at the same time, they're both into culinary stuff too. So
right.
We'll have them on Hacking Gourmet at some point in time too, just to talk about food.
Right.
But yeah, we'll certainly have Lito and Tony on here sometime, either together or separately.
So I want to keep this kind of brief, but is there anything coming out from La Flor Dominicana, new, special, anything that you can talk about that you maybe want to bring up?
Keep it even briefer. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's all you can say.
That's all I can say.
Okay. So if you are an LFD fan, apparently there is something special coming out.
There's 2 something specials, actually.
Oh, there's 2 something specials coming out.
Yep.
There's
a third something special coming out later in the year.
So I would keep your ear to the ground. Follow La Flor Dominicana online, on social media, and keep an eye on that, because apparently they might have something brewing. Something they got a couple of things brewing.
3 somethings.
3 somethings. You have 3 somethings brewing in the LFD pipeline. So I mean, we're really excited to see that. It's always cool. I always love when people come out with new things, and even when it's like a special release and stuff. It's always interesting. So
when
I try to poke it out.
We'll be doing a live presentation, a live broadcast. When we're ready to do that, and all press will be welcome to it. All media, all retailers will be welcome to come in and see that. We will be doing a virtual. I hate to say virtual because it's not virtual; it's real.
Yeah.
We'll be doing a live broadcast. We'll be doing a live broadcast of what we got to offer, and we'll be talking about the current state of affairs of the cigar industry, and we'll be talking about the products that we have, and we got a couple of exciting things coming up. But that'll be a live thing that's available to everybody all at the same time.
Right.
So I mean, I'd love to give you the scoop, but I can't.
I
can't.
It's okay. I'll wait like everybody
that's
else.
Another thing. I'm trying to be fair too. Like, I'm on the show, so it'd be very easy just to say, "Hey, I'm just going to do this through Smokin Tabacco. I'm going to do this and this," and it would be super easy. Actually, it'd be awesome. It'd be great for the show.
We could just hit pause and you could just tell me.
But no, we'll be doing a live broadcast on that, and that'll be sometime, hopefully before the end of September. But sometime here in the fall, we'll be doing a live broadcast, and we're ready to go. We'll announce all of that, and we'll be getting the information, and we'll invite everybody to come and see what we have to offer.
So, how's your Indelusion Bowl smoking?
Oh, awesome, dude.
When's the last time you had one of these, actually?
Probably 4 months.
Really?
Yeah, probably 4 months.
Now, is this something that, obviously, someone like yourself, most people would assume just has access to Andalusian Bull all the time?
Nah, I maybe smoked 4 or 5 of these a year at the most.
Really?
Yeah, this is only my second one this year.
Really?
Yeah.
I would say, so here's a question for you. Out of all the special releases that you guys have, whether it's Andalusian Bull, Salimon Unico, the A's when they come out, whatever it is, what would you say your favorite special release from La Flor Dominicana is?
I'm a personal, which this hasn't been out for a long time, I'm a personal big fan of the regular standard LG line.
Okay.
There's a few sizes I like, and there's a Robusto called the Cubano, and there's a Petite Robusto called the Cubanito, which is probably my favorite size in that. So I love the LG line. It's Dominican Puro wrapper binder filler. 100% grown on our farm. It hasn't been out for like 4 years, man.
Hmm.
And it was just we've had our butts kicked the last 4 years, and it was intended to be out several months back, and it's been pushed back now because of Corona. And hopefully we'll have that out soon. I mean, the small batch 7
Yep.
is part of that line. Those line that the small batch and the regular LG were intended to come out exactly at the same time, and we were going to release 6 facings of the standard LG line. I mean, it just didn't work out just because of the timing and where we're at in terms of capacity at the factory. Still with the Corona situations and then the hurricanes coming by. So yeah, standard LG line is probably my favorite special release. And I haven't had it in a while. And the Cubanito, it's like a Petite Robusto. It's awesome, man. It's great smoke. It's like 48 by like 4.
Yeah.
Awesome. Just really rich, really full bodied. I said Dominican Puro, all from our farm. So that's a special cigar. So I'd say that was the first one that popped in my head when you said it.
Yeah.
When you asked that question, that certainly was probably one that's special to me.
Yeah. I know I've been popping around a couple of my local retailers lately, and I've seen some different stuff from La Flor Dominicana, at different places, and it's really cool. And I have to go on the record. I feel like I have to say this. When I was off the record last night, I was kind of put on the spot about stuff that I smoke a lot, my favorites or whatever, and I didn't mention LFD. And it wasn't a slight against LFD. John knows I smoke a lot of LFD, and I've had the pleasure of going through most of the LFD catalog, at least with at least all of the regular available stuff, a good amount of the special releases. Like I said, I haven't hit everything, but I've had a good majority, and I've enjoyed most of it too. So I just feel like I have to throw that out there because people thought I was hating on LFD because of you, and I didn't mention it. But
no,
I smoke a lot of LFD.
Well, no. You were asked a very legitimate question. You answered it very honestly, which is fine. I don't. By the way, it's a hard question to answer, like what your favorite brands are, favorite cigars, especially when you're on a show with a sponsor. But for the record, you also didn't mention McAuliffe, which sponsors what we're doing. And that's an honest answer. You gave an honest answer, and that's awesome. I mean, we all busted your balls about it, but it's fine. And during the soap review tonight, we're going to have an experience, and I may wash those words out of your mouth, but that's fine. I got a great soap tonight.
Those were the fighting words that were said last night in the comment section.
No, hey, you answered it very honestly, and that's just, if I'd asked you that question, that's the same answer you would have given to me. I knew what you were going to say before you said it.
Yeah.
That's why, I mean, I was a little bit of delay on the video, but I was typing most of that stuff prior to you actually saying what you're going to say because I knew what. Are you kidding me right now?
Did the lens just pop out of your glasses?
Yeah, it's popped out.
Wow. You start writing on the show. This guy's falling apart. I don't know what's going on. This is we're normally a little bit more polished, but being side by side here has really just brought out the tenseness in John here, and he's just falling apart. He's got the wine going. His glasses are falling apart. Now we're pulling a stick man. He's going to put on the sunglasses.
Anyway, I'm back. But
do you feel better now?
I do actually.
Do you?
I see why the stick man does this. It's like. You're like a different guy. I think he does this because he likes the way he looks when he looks at himself.
Okay.
Because when you look at somebody that's wearing sunglasses, like on a show, you're like, why is that idiot wearing sunglasses?
Well, it's like Scott Zolak does that.
You're like, why is the guy wearing sunglasses?
Yeah.
But when you're the guy on the show, you're looking, you're like, man, I look cool. Like this has changed my whole persona. I'm a different person than I was just a few moments ago. So I think the stickman does it for his own good. I think he does it to make himself feel good.
Michael Damari, actually, I do buy LFT cigars. I buy quite a fair amount of them. And if you missed the beginning of the show, I actually went into a retailer today, and I bought a bundle of Andalusian Bulls right in front of him. So there's no special treatment.
One. He purchased
the
cigar I'm smoking.
Yeah, I purchased
smoking the cigar for the company I've represented for 10 years and run the sales for. By the way, if that's not a good salesperson, I don't know what there is. Like, how does it get better than that?
You know what? You did your job.
I'm on a show. I'm part of a show, and I made the other person who's on the show, whose name's on the show, buy the cigar that I'm smoking. I think that's an epic sales move. I don't know. Hey, always be closing, right? I'm drinking all the coffee tomorrow.
Well, you know what's funny is, I feel like people just assume, like, well, he's friends with Jon Carney. He gets
must give you everything,
Yeah, that's not true. And there's no special treatment here. And don't get it all mixed up. I still buy all my cigars. I support my local retailers, the manufacturers who, people I know, like La Flor Dominicana. I still buy their cigars. I don't just be like, well, hey, John, like, can you send me, like... No, I buy their product, so don't get it twisted. That's not what's going on here.
By the way, when we get up from here, it's very important that we don't step too heavily because there is a lens on the ground. These are my old glasses, so they're not in until next week, the new ones. So we're gonna need to be very careful. So
Yeah.
we've got the sous chef is over here. The sous chef is working on this. She's got light and we're in good shape. But by the way, if you find it, I'm not switching over. But no. It's
Well, you're gonna have to.
it'd be really easy to say, hey, I give you this. I haven't really given you anything.
Yeah, no, I haven't
You
gotten
actually-
anything free. I bought everything.
Yeah, you bought
I
literally
even
everything.
I bought the
Bought
t-shirts and everything.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't. This has been great. I haven't had. This has been a perfect relationship.
Yeah, so I mean,
You're definitely the sugar daddy in this.
yeah, I mean, I think I was the first. I was the first customer for the online store.
You were. But the funny thing with the online store was, so we launched the online store kind of shadowed. It was live, so I sent him over the link and said, "Hey, you're looking at some shirts. Can you test this out?" So he tested it out, and it works perfect. So the next day, I'm sitting with Tony, and I go, "Tony, hey, I'm ready to launch the store." I tested with my buddy Matt. Everything worked fine. Shipping, you name it, blah, blah, blah. So he posts online to like 56,000 followers. The store doesn't work.
Worked for me.
It didn't work.
Worked for me.
24 hours later, it didn't work. So we're getting like Instagram message after Instagram message. Tony and I are going back and forth. Text message on the phone. Like, what do you? I go, I'm working on it. I'm on hold with the domain holder and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a mess. I was like, it'll be fine. I go, it's collecting all the information of people that can't complete the orders, so I'll reply to all of them. But it was a disaster.
Yeah.
It was an absolute disaster, and which is not shocking. But it was an absolute disaster. But it was fixed within about 15 minutes. But everything worked perfect. It worked perfect for you. And then when we sent it, by the way, we didn't do anything. It wasn't like we pressed the button and it didn't go and like it went live. It was already live. Like it had been live for like 4 days.
Right.
And then it just didn't work. So that's what happened. And yeah, but no, Matt. I mean, Matt's been good. He's bought everything, and
And I think
maybe I'll give him a cigar tomorrow or something. You know,
Maybe.
the FDA doesn't allow me to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I still have to pay you for it.
And by the way, why would I start giving you things if you're already willingly buying it and then giving them to me?
Yeah.
And people may think that we're actually joking about this right now because it's like tongue in cheek.
This
No,
really
dead
happened.
serious. He literally bought these cigars today. He literally bought the ashtray we have here. The things that are being given away, I may have given him the giveaway stuff. But the shirt he's wearing, purchased. So yeah, no, like, you know, hey, there you go. If you want stuff, you want me on the show, I'll come on your show. But you know, hey, you got to pay to play, right?
You have to pay to play. But I think we've reached the
boy.
the real time for you to shine.
The sous chef fixed my glasses.
Yeah.
I'm not switching them. I just dropped my cigar on the ground.
Well, it's definitely that time of the night for you.
I got.
I washed him for
What
you.
time of the night is it?
It's time for the soap review.
You know what the problem is with sunglasses? You can't see.
Those
Yeah.
have been washed.
There we go. Soap review. All right, we're in business. All right, so last week we did, what did I do, 7-9 last week?
Mm-hmm.
7-9? All right, so last week we did 7-9 soap on Fire in the Hole from Outlaw Soaps. So this week we're going to back it up with Outlaw Soaps. By the way, Dr. Squatch, for anyone that's watching, we have Dr. Squatch soaps. Not tonight, but we are going to do Dr. Squatch sometime. So that's lined up in the future. I'm going to join that too. But tonight we're doing Outlaw Soap again. The Outlaw Soaps. This is Outlaw Lust in the Dust, a desert shower romance.
And
Lust in the Dust.
what's interesting is, given our current setup that we have here, you actually get to do the soap review right here at the sink. You don't have to have the bucket of water. You don't have to go to your bathroom with your American flag, which is great. But like, you get to just be like right here, right on the show.
So we've got the commentary on the back here is hilarious. It's going to be a hot day. You're taking advantage of the cool morning air to get. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's not a period. You're taking advantage of the cool morning air to get miles between you and the last town. No one travels across the Mojave after 11 o'clock, not even the U.S. Marshal. The breeze is already warming up, carrying the desert's heat with it. The next town may be a good place to stop. The hotel is a fancy number, but you've got a plenty of cash. As you walk in, you feel the manager's eyes on you. It's your old flame from home, all grown up and in this middle of nowhere desert town. The heat between you rivals the sun rising outside. You set down your your salad bag. You set down your saddlebags and get ready for lust in the dust. All right, here we go. Big moment. Wow. So here we are, lust in the dust. It's got the kind of same flame effect. Different colors as the what was the last one? The Fire in the Hole.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you know what's bad about this is it doesn't give me any scent. I'm so bad. What are you smelling off this? Let's find a female. Let's find a female here. I can't. I got terrible.
It
smell.
definitely has some like woodsy vibe to it. Maybe
Yeah.
some spruce,
Yeah. It's definitely pine or
It's
spruce
got-
or pine. Yeah.
citrus, a little bit of citrus. It's clean,
It is clean.
clean smelling.
Same texture as last week. You rub it with your thumb here with your fingernail. It doesn't get too worked up. Definitely pine or spruce. Spruce is a good one. That's a good out. That's a good. I mean, spruce
I like
is pine,
spruce. Yeah.
but it's not like it's not pine, but it's definitely
almost
woods.
It's almost like that soap I gave you for the first review you did.
It
on
is.
the
It's
show.
close. This is kind of holiday. It's kind of holiday soap. It gets you ready for the lust and the dust. So here we go. Okay, you got warm water right here, huh? All right, here we go. You don't want too much pressure. That's going to ruin things. We're going to a little wet first. Nice clean towel, thank you. So, texture's nice. Said not too greasy. This is a craft soap, so we've got a craft soap situation going on. Craft soaps tend to not be as greasy. They also tend to be less astringent. So here we go, less in the dust. Got the little citrus, a little pine. Gonna get the soap wet here first. We're gonna go at it. I anticipate similar experience from last week as we had with the Fire in the Hole. When I do lather, it should be pretty similar. But we also have a different temperature situation going on here. So we're going to get it really lathered up. I'll be honest, this is different than last week's. This is way more sudsy, right?
Hmm.
Look
Yeah,
at
it's
that.
very soapy. Yeah.
Look at that lather.
That's a ton more lather. It was more of like a... I remember last week it did have a little bit of this. It was very soapy like this. A lot of lather. But it still feels a little different.
Hmm.
That sound right there. That's how you know it's good. Again, not super strong on the scent, so it's not overpowering. That's one thing I like. I like the cleanliness. I'm excited to see about the astringency. This feels different than last week. So here we go. We're gonna do a little rinse. I'm a big fan of craft soaps. Craft soaps really, for me, have done it a little bit better. The reason I like it is, I said it's not as astringent at the end. It's just your hands feel refreshed, but they don't feel tight. Some of those non-craft soaps feel a little tight. It's great having a sink here, rather than just dumping water in my hands from a...
Talk about convenience.
Yeah, it's super convenient. Well, you know what's funny is your water is so different here than the water we have. My water up home is very high in iron. It is.
It goes through a system.
But yeah, you're going through it. So we have very high iron content in ours, and it kind of rinses off a lot of the... So like I'm still kind of greasy right now, which I usually don't have that experience. I'm about to sneeze, actually. This is kind of strong. All right, so a little bit of grease. We're going to dry off.
That's you.
I go through the town.
It did.
I got another one. This is bad. This is not how I intended this to go.
Maybe you're allergic to that soap.
Maybe, do you have cats?
Nope.
Then I'm good. It might be this tranquil lotus candle. Wow. I don't know how I feel about this. I've never had this experience with soap before.
This definitely will be affected. This definitely will be reflected in the score.
This is awful. Wow. Just because I can't even think right now. This happened on live television. It's awful. This is the same soap as last week with a different scent. I'm giving this a 7.9. Lust in the Dust, 7.9. I like it. I bathed several times last week with Fire in the Hole. This is exactly the same soap with a different scent. I like it, so it's a matter of what? Excuse me. It's a matter of what scent you like. So I prefer the Fire in the Hold over this, but it's the same soap with a different scent. So 7-9, same score. It's Fire in the Hold.
I just verified too. It is sagebrush, sandalwood, and campfire.
By the way, there was sagebrush in Fire in the Hold too.
Mm.
Yeah. So this 7-9, it says same soap, just different scent. Obviously, I'm struggling with this one. Physically, emotionally, I'm very confident. 7-9. And that's tonight's soap review. Hopefully, when we come back to Tabacco Estate, this is not the same experience we have. Hopefully, we learn and grow as individuals and as a country. God bless America, and God bless Carney's soap review. Soap review. Oh.
Well, there's that. That's all I have to say. That's it's the most. And the thing with the soap review,
I'm done.
The thing with the soap review is, it's something that Carney likes to do. It's kind of an inside joke. It began as an inside joke.
Now it's just a joke.
And it's something that I told Carney he could continue to bring to the show because it's something that he loves to do.
You tried it out?
It is a little entertaining, especially when it goes well. Unfortunately, that was a little bit of a stumble for him. That was a missed opportunity. But you know what? We got through it, and the pain is over, and we can get back to the program.
Does anybody have a lighter so I can set myself on fire?
There you go.
I do see what you mean. It leaves
It does.
leaves lotion.
So
It's nice. I'll be honest. This is different than last week's soap, man. I know the review's over. My hands are softer.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the water. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. It's just an interesting soap. For me, it is the same soap. I think the water was the difference this week. By the way, I was sneezing my face off. All I guess I had to do is come over here. I'd give you this one, but I've now used it for other types of things. I don't know, man. I got to use that one again. But I feel comfortable giving it the same score as Final.
well, John, you know what time it is for now. What usually comes right after the soap review.
Overtime?
Well, it's overtime, but what do we do after the soap review?
What, talk about the NBA bubble?
Yeah.
I'm not really proud of the NBA bubble right now.
It is time for our Sports Corner segment, brought to you by Platinum Nova Cigars. Platinum Nova, make Nova big. So, there has been some controversy, and I'm going to let you get all into this, don't worry. But obviously there has been some controversy that I believe began with the NBA, and now it has begun to trickle into the other major sports.
Well,
and
yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna let you go right into this.
I mean, obviously we have some challenges going on as a country. I think we can all agree that regardless of what goes on, we can all be better every day, right?
Yeah.
So there's some challenging stuff that went on, and there's definitely different views and things like that. But there's definitely the black community in our country. I think rightfully so, feels like they're treated a little differently and treated differently. And whether it's systemic or whatever it is, there's definitely a more exposure to that. So the NBA, obviously, I've talked about it on the show. The NBA took a very big stand. It's a very, it's a diverse league.
Yeah.
But it's a black league. There's black people. There's a large number of people there that are black.
Yeah.
And that's just a reality. I've told people on the show, like, if you tune in and you don't expect to see Black Lives Matter there, like, what are you thinking? Like, why wouldn't you see that there?
Right.
And these are people that are wealthy and well known and famous and have a platform to represent what they care about. So the NBA yesterday boycotted. I don't know if it was really a boycott. They essentially canceled the games yesterday, and I think they played tonight, but I didn't watch it because we were doing our own thing. Obviously, I'm a huge NBA fan, but yeah, they didn't have the games because of the situation that happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin, with Jacob Blake, which was a visually very challenging situation.
Yeah.
We'll see kind of like what, we're finding out things that happened, this and that. And despite whatever he may or may not have done before, that was a challenging thing. And that's obviously something that we shouldn't have to see. and shouldn't happen. But I thought for me, stopping the games, and we've talked a lot about this today, but stopping the games where they have this platform to speak. Like if I was one of these players, and I'm not trying, obviously I'm different, come from a different background than most of these players do. I'm obviously not black. So I'm not trying to say on their behalf of how they should or shouldn't feel.
Right.
But I would look at that situation as they have this great platform on a nightly basis, which I've been a part of, to really express their feelings and what they'd like to see change. And I think a lot of them have. They have peaceful protests during the game through the national anthem. And they said, whether you feel positive or negative about that or whether it's right or wrong, that's your opinion. But that's an avenue they have. And if you don't want to watch it, then don't.
Right.
But, the canceling the games thing was really interesting because it was we're going to boycott the games. And I think the way it was portrayed was like, I'm going to punish you as a viewer. Since I don't like something that's going on or I have a different view, I'm going to punish you as a viewer and not play this game or not show this game tonight. And again, I have no issue with them doing that. It was just a little surprising to me because I felt the best way for them to express their message, which I tend to agree with, would be to be live on television and expressing it for, there's 8, 9, 10, 12 hours of basketball a day. So to cancel that, it takes away a voice where I think there needs to be more of a voice. So that was a big thing that happened this week. And what I hope to see from the NBA, because I'm personally, a big NBA fan, big basketball fan, I hope to see the NBA and their players come out with what they want to see changed, and workable direction for them to go, and workable direction of suggestions and recommendations for I hate to use the term leaders because they're not our leaders, they're our elected officials. They work for us. We're their leaders, they work for us, which I think is one of the big issues, is where this has been reversed. The House of Reps, the Congress works for us. The legislative branch works for us. All these people work for us. So I'd like to see them come out with a list of things that they want done and that would improve things, which I think they know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they have a lot of smart people involved. I think a lot of the players are very intelligent on it. Not all of them, but that's fine. And it's okay if you're not, the most astute on how to make problems, how to improve problems. But I felt canceling the games was a really tough pill to swallow for me as a basketball fan. As a white male, I was really down for what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
The Black Lives Matter thing was big to me. I was like, that's on the court. That's what they stand for. I love it. I like the post game interviews. I love the opportunity for them to express their opinions, and to cancel that game. And maybe they needed that to regroup and actually focus on some stuff. So I think it's a big thing in the next 3 days to see what they do today, tomorrow, the day after that. But I'd like to see people using their public platform in a way to get their message out, and not just an opinion and not just a view of, we all agree these things are bad and shouldn't happen to anyone.
Right.
So I'd like to see that used as a platform to actually give, this is wrong and this is what I'd like to see happen, and this is what we, not a demand like holding someone hostage, but this is what we demand. This is what we like. And for me, the canceling of the games was a I hate to use the term like slap in the face, but it was like, man, we were getting, there's some traction here.
Yeah.
You were starting to connect with people. When I don't debate much on Facebook, but I was debating with some people, and I was like, just watch it and see what you think. Like, nobody's hurting anybody here. They're just voicing opinions and views, and yes, it's entertainment, but if you're not entertained, then don't watch.
Right.
So the canceling of that open venue and that open platform to speak, I think was a challenging thing. So I'd like to see them come out with some stuff and the actual points that they'd like to see happen as a league. They've obviously taken a stance.
Right.
So when you take a stance, I'd like to see what they actually stand on, other than just it's wrong. Like, how do we get it better? And I think a lot of those people have the ability, the financial capacity, the personal capacity, and the connection to it to actually make some difference and change. And I said, canceling something when you had that open forum, there's so many people that would love to just have a voice. I think some of these victims that were in these situations, they were victims whether you think it was right or wrong. They were all victims of something.
Mm-hmm.
I think they would love to have a voice and to sit there and say, hey, we have this voice and we're not gonna give it to you today for a day. I don't think it was as impactful as they hoped for, and I hope that the next step they take is very impactful.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it has some positive things from it. I think it could, and I think it's a good direction. But yesterday kind of rubbed me the wrong way, just because I said there's so many people that want a voice and they all have it, and they decided to not use it that one day. Definitely interesting to follow.
Yeah, it's, and again, I don't really get in too much to it, but it's just, for me, it is disappointing to see, the games not be played. But you know, I think that there's better ways than, I hate to use the word deprive, but deprive the fans from the game. Like, I understand that there's situations out there, and that doesn't mean I don't agree with them. I just didn't think that maybe not playing games completely was really the right answer. I mean,
Here's the way I look at it. I think most people do. I appreciate LeBron James for what he's done
Mhm.
in a sport that I love.
Yeah.
I don't need LeBron James
Right.
in my life. Same thing with most celebrities, most entertainment. I don't need any of it. I can entertain myself. Like, I think hopefully I was very entertaining for people in the soap review when I had a sneezing fit.
I think you were.
But I don't need that. So if you're gonna try to, I really think the way it was delivered was like, we're just gonna boycott. They said it was just a boycott. Like, what are you boycotting? You're boycotting your job. You're boycotting. What are you boycotting me? What are you boycotting the fans to bring attention? I think the best way to bring attention is to have a very public voice. And the NBA has a very public voice for 12 hours a day for over a month.
I think
And it has it for the year. And I've been in discussions with people all the time. I'm passionate about the NBA. I love what they're doing. You know how much I love the bubble.
Yeah.
And you know how much I love the NBA. And I sat there and I was like, how is this happening? I'm like, this is so awkward for a situation where if those NBA players had said, which I think they also need a chance to regroup
Mhm.
and determine not just what they stood for. They all stood for this is wrong, or they all stood for, again, whether you agree with it or not, it's a different story, but they stood for something. So maybe they need a moment to regroup. So we stand for this. So what do we want to do to enact change? So maybe they need a chance to regroup. I wish that would have happened well before now.
Yes.
Because these situations have been going. By the way, been going on for a long time, well before anything. For decades we've had issues, hundreds of years. I mean, there's been racial issues for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily as bad as sometimes it gets portrayed, but it's a real thing. So you sit there and look at it. I wish they would have come in prior, and then they, instead of boycotting the game, said, hey, this game's going to be pushed back an hour. My game's at 6. We're not going to play till 7, because from 6 to 7, I want to be on television talking to you about what I want to change. Instead, it was like, we're just going to take away basketball for the day. And I was like, I don't think that's the right way to do this, and I don't think that was a beneficial thing for them. When something happens, you have a chance to recover. So hopefully, I think they have the opportunity to recover well from this, and hopefully they do, and hopefully they come with a platform of things they want to change specifically. And I said, the one thing I want to say is, if you're going to be open, if you're going to sit and have discussions with people about your opinions, whether you think they're right or wrong, you have to also be willing to listen to their other side of whether they're right or wrong either. Because the way someone feels is how they feel. Mm-hmm. And we sit here and we have a lot of discussions, not you and I, but like we as a country have a lot of discussions. And it's really easy to just get mad at someone who has a different point of view, or you're racist, you're a bigot, you're this. No, I have a difference of opinion. Hear my opinion, and I'll guarantee you 90% of my job is dealing with people who look different than me.
Mm-hmm.
I find so much in common with them by accident, by just sitting and listening.
Right.
And I think that's the big thing. And the people that write stuff off because of this and that, yeah, maybe things should be handled a different way, but we're in a free country, and you have an opportunity to listen to someone that has a different point of view. And sometimes people don't put things the right way. I watch people that I agree with say things that I agree with that aren't put the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just hope that that's where they go with this. And if they don't, you have every right to have an opinion on. You have every right to have an opinion, even if they do. But I just hope for the sake of a country, and I hope as the sake of a great sport that I'm personally passionate about, that's the direction they go with.
Yeah, I would say that's well said. We, as I said, it's gone beyond the NBA. The Red Sox are not playing a game tonight with the Toronto Blue Jays, and I believe NHL had a couple of missed games as well. So I mean, it's starting to trickle over into some other sports, but you know, the only thing I would say is, again, we hope that we find some change for this soon, so that way we can.
I just want things to be better for everybody.
Yeah.
And I try to find the positive things in every situation, and I try to listen to everybody. And then there's some people you can't discuss with.
No,
They just aren't willing, and that's fine. But the vast majority of people are willing to sit and have a discussion. And if it's just, I'm not going to listen to this, I hate this, you don't have to watch the game to listen to hear what they're saying. You don't have to agree with them to hear it. So I just ask people to just give a moment and hear somebody's different view. And if you listen it through, you're going to find a lot of things in common. At the end of the day, most everybody wants these things to be better for themselves and better for the people they care about, and that's really what it's about. And there's a lot of people that don't, but that's such a small group of people.
Right.
So we're in a challenging spot. I think the NBA will handle this well. I don't think yesterday was handled well. But the one thing I will say as an organization, the NBA, the players had some issues that they wanted to deal with, and they didn't want to play.
Exactly.
And the league listened, and that's cool. Whether you like it or not, fine. You said you have the right to listen to it. When the next TV contract's up, they'll probably get paid less if you didn't like it, and the vast majority of people didn't. But I respect an organization that respects the people that work for them, whether they're right or wrong.
Yeah.
Hey, you're wrong, but like I feel this way. So if you feel, if the majority of the people that work for me feel a certain way, I gotta listen.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta listen. And I said whether you like it or not, and that's fine. It's okay to be wrong.
Yeah.
It's also okay to be right. At the same time. So
yeah.
It was an interesting situation. But I think the NBA played. I don't know. I said we were tied up with stuff today, so I didn't watch it. But the NBA took yesterday off. I took today off. Right. So I'll go back tomorrow, and we'll see if we align together.
On a more positive note, up here in New England, as the NFL continues to prepare for the season that they intend to try and put together, Patriots training camp. Cam Newton, our new boy Cam Newton, who has come to New England, is continuing to prove that he is going to be the starting quarterback. As Jarrett Stidham is now just, I don't even know what you would call this current state of Jarrett Stidham. But it seems to me like the golden boy has now become Cam Newton so far of what we've seen.
Well, obvious, right? Like
obviously, but
he was brought here to win a job. And by the way, the biggest so he was brought here to do a job.
Yeah,
they brought him in with the intention of him winning the job and being the starter. I mean, 4 years ago, he was the best player in the NFL.
Yeah,
in his mid-20s, he's still in his prime. So I don't think it's a shock to anybody. But the unique thing was a similar conversation I've said on the show that I actually had with Cam in October last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I've run into people like, oh, Cam's arrogant. No, he's not. He's a down-to-earth guy. He works his ass off.
Mm-hmm.
But the big thing for me was an interview that came out yesterday. They asked him about stuff, and they said, how do you feel about being the starter? He's like, that's not what I'm here to do. He's like, I'm here to earn a job. He's like, I'm here to learn every day. He goes, I didn't do as well off of this certain scenario that I wanted to today. He's like, I'm just here to get better every day. And it was, when he said it, he was dressed like a three-ring circus. But he said something in a way that was so Patriots that it's not even funny.
Right.
It was funny. It was laughable. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm like, in 3 weeks, Cam Newton is speaking like a Patriot.
Yeah.
I'm like, that guy. They were trying to praise him. Boston media was praising him, how great he looked, how did he this and that, and he just humbled it down. And he was like, "No, I'm just here to learn. I'm here to grow. I have goals, and that's my goal isn't to be the starter. My goal is to learn and grow every day." And I'm like, "Wow!" And he said it like legitimately. I thought that was huge.
Yeah.
I was like, "Wow!" I'm like impressive. I'm like, he's bought it. And for me, it was like the people that like haven't met him and haven't spoken with him and spent time with him.
Yeah.
It was like, this is the guy you need to see, because he said that stuff to me before, just barely knowing me for a short period of time. And it was cool to see that. And I think he obviously is a starter, and that's what he was brought here to do.
Yeah.
If the Patriots try to say, oh, he was here to earn a position, I mean, if he can't beat Jared Stidham out of a starting job, he doesn't belong in the league.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, Hoyer looks great in practice. Yeah, Hoyer should look great in practice, because all Hoyer does professionally is practice. The problem with Brian Hoyer is he doesn't look good in games.
Exactly.
If he looked real good in games, he'd be a starter somewhere else. He's played in other places. So people, oh, Hoyer looks great. He should look great in practice.
We could go on and on about this, but, and you make a good point, especially in terms of the backups and the other quarterbacks. We saw the same thing happen with Jimmy Garoppolo, who was the number 2 to Tom Brady. He was a starting caliber quarterback, and as much as we wish he had stayed, and I think things would have been different if he was our starting quarterback, he ended up getting that chance. He went to San Francisco, and he went to a Super Bowl. He didn't win the Super Bowl, but he still led a team to a Super Bowl, and that's still admirable in itself.
I'll go on the record today saying I'd rather have Cam Newton than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Really?
I think we as the Patriots are in a better position, even having Cam Newton on a 1-year contract, than we would be with Garoppolo.
That's an interesting take.
And there's no real way to test it.
Right.
49ers are really good. They had some great running backs that really showed up last year. Their defense was really good. And a lot of good leadership on the defense.
Yeah.
So there's no real way to look at that. But, in my mind, I look at that. I think Cam Newton is a more dynamic player than Garoppolo. Garoppolo's young. He's got a lot of upside. He still has upside. He went to the Super Bowl. I think they're going to be good next year. But Cam Newton was the best player in the NFL 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. The best. Number 1. Cam Newton. Yep. The best player. So, the people that doubt that, they're like, oh, Cam here, it's just Cam Newton. Give me a break. He was literally the actual best player. And he took his team to the Super Bowl, and guess what? They lost to the Patriots. No, they didn't
lose to the Patriots.
They lost to them before that to get to the Super Bowl, right?
Oh yeah, they
AFC
did.
Championship game?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
They might not have. But...
No. That was the year they in the Super Bowl they lost to the Broncos, I believe. That was Super Bowl 50.
Whatever. They lost the Patriots. Yeah. For this argument, they lost the Patriots.
Okay, whatever.
Anyway,
have it your way, as usual.
I believe they played the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
We played them earlier.
The Panthers are in the NFC.
Right.
They played the Patriots,
but
in
not
the Super Bowl.
But not when Cam Newton was on the team.
Yes.
No. We played the Panthers.
Do we have a producer here that can look this up?
2004, 2005. We played the Panthers. I thought. That's when we played. Yeah, because the first 3 Super Bowls, it was the Rams, the Eagles, and the Panthers. Then it was the Falcons, the Rams.
Right. They lost to the Broncos, Super Bowl 50. I'm an idiot. Anyway, he was the best player in the NFL.
Yeah, he was. But he didn't lose to Tom Brady, but he might have gotten himself to a point to succeed Tom Brady in New England.
I mean, thank God there's only 3 people watching right now. 1.
Well, really?
2, 3.
What a way to really bring down the mood.
Well, we are way over.
We are way over.
Yeah, the show should be over by now.
We've definitely gone past our point. And this show kind of stumbled. It stumbled into existence today. Like I said, we had a rough start with our technical issues, and John's over here stumbling through life, and so I'm just trying to hold it together so we can get through this. By
the way, you know what's funny is you were talking about all these sinuses and stuff you've had.
Yeah.
Man, I've been stuffed up since I got down here.
Ragweed.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Wow. Now my foot's asleep.
I think a lot of you is asleep right now.
No, I'm just getting ready to be alive.
The heart of a champion. Like he doesn't want to.
Freedom. Anyway. So yeah, that was good stuff. There. It's good, great soap review.
Yeah.
Good show. Fun.
Yeah, I mean, we still put together a decent
show. Thank
God
we didn't have a guest tonight.
Yeah, thank God.
Wow, that would have been a disaster.
We did our best. Sometimes, you're not going to have the best show, but, you move on. Next week, we'll have a great show. We'll be fine. We'll be back in our normal setup. I think the whole, our whole situation being here side by side kind of threw things.
It was intimidating.
Yeah.
At the same time, too.
We didn't really expect this. I think we thought it was going to go off easy, as it should, but, unfortunately.
It should have. We had everything set up. Nicole had everything set up. And
we were set for success.
It was, sometimes, best laid plans of mice and men end up in a mousetrap.
Well, I'm going to put down my Andalusian Bull. I'm getting towards the end of where I want to be with it for now, and I think we're going to get ready to wrap up the show. So we've gone over a lot. A lot has happened. We've seen a lot happen on this show, and I got nothing else.
We had a great screen set up for Carney's smoke review today.
Smoke review? You mean the soap review?
I've been saying smoke review the whole time.
Yeah, you have. It's soap review. It's
Yep.
your own segment. I shouldn't have to correct you on this.
Nope.
But yeah, we've covered a lot. Nick Perdomo next week, guys, 8 p.m. Facebook. You know where to find us. And the giveaway, a massive giveaway, Smoking Tobacco 1-year anniversary, that will be announced soon. all the details, all the pieces and the prizes. So be sure to check that out. There's really good stuff in that. You're really going to want to win that. That's going to be a really fun one to get. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I'll throw it right here at the end of the show. The winner of the giveaway also gets to come on the show with us. Wow. Yeah. So if you're an LFD fangirl and it's been your dream to meet Jonathan Carney, this is your chance to win. Also, if you're a Jon Carney hater,
oh, we'd love to have you on the show.
and you'd want to just come on and just shit on Jon Carney, this is also your opportunity.
Do your work.
It goes both ways. So I don't know.
I think this was a great show.
Yeah,
I think we, when adversity hits us, we hit adversity back with more adversity. We challenge it. We double down on
we fared well.
Yeah.
We fared well.
Yeah.
So with that, I got nothing. You got anything?
I mean, I've given everything I had.
I think you've given more than we could have asked for. So
No, good show. Great time here at Tabacco Estate. We'll be at the CANH, Cigar Association of New Hampshire golf outing tomorrow. We'll be there from 9 till whenever the heck it's done. Hacking Gourmet on Labor Day. We'll yet to be determined what it's going to be called. It's going to be actually called the Wood Butcher Strikes Back. We're knocking off Star Wars on that next episode.
there you go.
But yeah, CANH next week. Thank you to McAuliffe Cigars and Nova for the partnership here. Matt was on their show last night with McAuliffe, so we appreciate you all. And thank you to LFD for providing me my job. And for the last 10 years, it's been excellent, and hopefully here 10 more. So going to be great, a great show. Thank you all. We enjoyed it. Hopefully the sneezing fit in the middle. By the way, when I was sneezing, I looked jacked.
We'll have to go and make a replay for next week's show. Yeah.
Jacked.
I mean, you looked okay.
So, Smokin Tobacco, signing off, right?
We're signing off. We'll see you guys next week.